Hello everybody, welcome back to another Pokemon Reviews episode. Today I'm going to be going over the Victreebel. Victreebel, grass typing. It's got the dozing sleep type, as do most grass types. It's got the ingredient specialty. Now, Victreebel is very interesting in the sense that it's got a clone. Now, I'll get into that a little bit later, but it's kind of got competition with another Pokemon, and it's the better option of the two clones. But it's got a 23.3% ingredient rate, 46 minute, 40 second time or frequency. That's basically the standard for Pokemon or for ingredient specialists in this game. You'll see this frequency quite a bit on the slower. It's kind of the slower end, but it's kind of standard for ingredient specialists. It's got the 17 inventory, which on a 3-stage Pokemon, that's not that bad. Because after 2 evolutions, it'll be 27. And then with the Good Sleep Ribbon, that'll bring it up to 35, which is pretty standard. You're not going to be running into too many inventory problems with the Victreebel, especially with a speed of 46 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, 23.3% ingredient rate, pretty good. Not amazing, not the best. Blastoise and Venusaur have a higher rate. There's quite a few Pokemon that actually have the higher rate. Now for its main skill, Charge Energy S at a 3.9% proc rate. Charge Energy S, I think, is a very strong option on the ingredient specialists, especially ones that excel at being a mono ingredient option, because you're not going to be running them as often. You'll only be running them for a small portion of the day, getting the ingredients you need, and then putting them back in the box. I find that to be the case with the Victreebel. You're not really looking to run it all the time, unless you have the right combo. Now, its clone, it's got a clone in the Mr. Mime, and I'll cover Mr. Mime more when I get around to his video. But it's very interesting because the Mr. Mime's got the same speed, the same slightly lower ingredient rate, and it's only got 1 stage of evolution, so it's got a lower inventory in practice. And it's rarer. It only exists at Cyan Beach exclusively. It is the Cyan Beach exclusive. It's got the same exact ingredient list that you can see here. And to top things off, it's even got the same island. They got different berries, but it's got the same island. And the Mago Berry is a lower value than the Duran Berry of grass. So, and I also think that the Victreebel has the better main skill compared to Charge Strength S, which, as we know, is like the weakest value skill in the entire game, especially the fixed variant, like the Mr. Mime has. The Victreebel has just so much flexibility to be swapped around as you need it to, because it's pretty much never going to have energy issues with this main skill. Now, something very interesting about the Victreebel, as an ingredient specialist, we really do want to be looking at this ingredient list. Now, where it really excels is during Curry's Week. I've talked about this a little bit before with the Venusaur, but Dream Eater Buttercurry, Mr. Mime, and Victreebel, they just own this. This meal is one of the easiest meals to consistently make if you have the right combination of Pokemon, and that is the Victreebel with a Blastoise. If you have both of them, you got this meal pretty much covered. The Blastoise produces a good amount of cacao and a decent amount of milk, and the Victreebel, with the right ingredient list, can produce a good amount of potatoes and a good amount of tomatoes as well. I think it's best with the AAC or AAB list. It doesn't come online until level 60 then. I also know that it's been a common strategy to run an ABX and then just not level it past level 30 or past level 60. If you do that, then you can keep it at a 2-to-1 ratio of potatoes to tomatoes, which is, you're never going to get the ratio quite right on the potatoes and tomatoes on this. It's always going to be, you're going to be overproducing one or the other. If you have ABB, you'll be overproducing potatoes. If you just have AB and then don't level it past 60, you'll be overproducing potatoes. If you have any other combination, you'll be overproducing the tomatoes, because, as you can see here, 7 is more than 6. And you actually need more potatoes than you need tomatoes. But if you have a good enough one, it'll produce enough of each And the extra filler doesn't, like, yeah, it technically gets wasted because the filler ingredients are lower value, but just having it that coverage is priceless. Well, not priceless, but it's very, very valuable. And especially since you can cover this meal with just 2 Pokemon, I think that makes this Dream Eater Butter Curry, I wouldn't say a really slept on meal option, because I actually have seen a lot of people taking advantage of this easy combo. But it's very, very powerful, and I think it's one of the strongest things about the Victreebel. Now, additionally, before the release of Meowscarada, it was common to see the potatoes on the Victreebel. Since potatoes were a rare ingredient, it was harder to come by them. And because of that, people would put the tomatoes in the mime, since it's the worst option of the two, and the potatoes would be on the Victreebel, because it was the best option for the potatoes. Now that Meowscarada's around, we don't really need the potatoes on the Victreebel unless you're looking for it to combo well into that Dream Eater Butter Curry. But it also has potential as a Mono Tomatomon. Now, you don't really need a Mono Tomatomon tomatoes, as you can see throughout this dish list. Aside from, like, green grass salad, there aren't too many meals that take the... Like, the green grass salad and the butter curry are, like, the only high-tier meals that really take those tomatoes. I've had some experience making this overheat ginger salad and the spore mushroom salad, and there is some value there, but it only takes 8 in each one, so I found that running a somewhat suboptimal one that just has the mono tomato list will get me enough tomatoes for this in like 2 days, so you don't have to run it for very long, and then you just have it stockpiled in the back and use the tomatoes as you need them. So there's some power in having that mono list, and I think the Victreebel is one of the best Pokemon for the mono tomato list, just because you don't want to waste tomato production on stronger ingredient specialists. So as for the leeks, leeks are one of the most powerful ingredients in the game, but having it just as a C ingredient isn't going to quite cut it in terms of productivity. And since there's not really that much synergy between the leeks and the potatoes, or even the leeks and the tomatoes, I wouldn't ever recommend the leeks on the Victreebel, no matter how good of stats it has. If you have it like that, I'd recommend just don't level it up to 60. It's going to be better served as either an AB, making that butter curry, or an AA mono option. It's not bad. If it's got good sub skills, it's very good to run it below level 60. And you can do a lot of ways to mitigate the XP gains on the Victreebel, but overall you're going to want to keep it below that point if it's got the leeks in the C ingredient, in my opinion. For catching it, it exists at Lapis Lakeside and Greengrass. I know Weepinbell exists also at Cyan, I believe. Yes, Cyan. And Bellsprout, for some reason, I don't know how, but this little plant guy lives in a tundra. So it's pretty versatile in where you can catch it. I don't know what the logic is here that a tiny little Bellsprout can live in a tundra and survive and thrive there. To the point where you can even see its 3-star sleep, which is supposed to be the rarest one that only exists on like specific islands. As you can see, there's no 3-star in Greengrass. That's because they want it to be split up at the other islands. But yeah, you can see the 3-star sleep from Bellsprout, where it's literally rooted into the ground in a tundra. I just find that funny. But hunting the Victreebel, pretty simple. Just don't go to top, and you'll see it and its evolutions. If you want the most candy, go to the Lapis Lakeside, as there you'll see the entire evolutionary line, not just the Bellsprout. That's about pretty much all there is to be said about the Victreebel, and I hope you have enjoyed and can use this knowledge. Thank you.